Hi, and welcome to another Nach Devlog. Yeah, it has been a while, hasn't it? A whole year, I think, since the last Devlog video, if I'm not mistaken. No, this project is most certainly not dead. I've been trying to make this thing for quite a while, so not giving up on that yet. Reason for my absence on this project is many, actually. Largely being swamped by art commissions, and also 2021 is Bionicle's 20th anniversary. So I just had to make something for that, and you can actually find the video. It's called Project Inquilina. It's in my YouTube thing. It's like this whole video made in 3D CGI about Bionicle stuff. But I have also been working on Nach. Now let's just play this. So it really doesn't seem like much has changed since the last video, right? Not much at all, but there very much has. It's changed so much. Though it's all under the hood. Like, I've been tinkering away at this code, trying to understand more how coding works, and really not getting the hang of it until, well, I found these videos that explain certain things really well. Particularly, a very easy way of creating a player state machine, which is now what this is using. Using states to move and run and jump and fall. And it's thanks to this YouTuber who's called something up. Put the name somewhere in the video. But yeah, thanks to him, because of his explanation and his use of a simple state machine, I've learned how to actually, effectively use that code, more or less, and understand what all of it does. And with that, I've managed to create the state machines for this character, right? Adapting it to the 3D environment. Because of that, something I've been struggling with, if anyone is returning from previous videos, were attack combos. And, well, they work, baby. Attack combos. Hell yeah. They actually function. Well, just kind of like so. That's so much fun to do. Look at that. But how does that actually work, right? Well, what's different? A lot. Let me just open up the no, that's the wrong scene. I want you. And you. So the code is quite different from the way it looked like before. Also a bit cleaner, I think. Well, it looks cleaner to me, more readable. I'll go over the details. So the state machine works like so. Here I have a variable called state, and it's automatically starts on default. Here it enumerates various states. Basically it's numbers 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. But then in the way, in the form of text. Then I have the default one, where the default character movement and the idle animations are. Then I have the jump one, the one for falling, and the light attack combo. And then I have one here that's called die, but I'm not using that one yet. So inside the physics process, I might actually move this chunk of code into its own function. But yeah, we have this here that basically detects whether or not I'm pressing any of the movement keys and assess is moving true or false, but that's not related really to states. We have this here, match command, or match state, and all the states under here, and all the function processes down below that it will move to, essentially. And of course, for debugging purposes, the print state, which comes down here. I have put things, various chunks of script, chunks of code, in their own functions, because before I did it like this, I was basically copy and pasting the same script over and over again in all the places where I needed it. Like this, I can just simply call the move function, for example, and I'll show you where I do that. So this is for, well, this is the physics, the vector3 physics. This is the actual movement keys. Like this is just to set is moving true or false. This is the actual key input with get action strength, and it gets the camera rotation, or the transformation of the camera, and places it here, basing it on the direction of the z and x coordinates, and normalizes it. And then we have the actual rotation of the character, which is set in its own function. For here, we have gravity put in its own function, and then we get the default state. Inside the default state, the character should be moving, running, and idling as usual. So first and foremost, this is related to the combo, so it'll just put attack press to false, as a thing to make sure it's there's no messy or buggy thing happening. So if is moving is true, then it'll call the move key function over here down, and we'll give you walking speed, playback the run animation, else walking is 0 and playback animation is idle. And then it's movement speed, right? I wonder if I can actually put it in its own function. Because I can use it again down here. Yeah, I might actually put it in its own function. Maybe, or not at all, because I only just use it twice. But whatever. This is this determines the velocity lerp. Lerp will interpolate between 1 and 0, or 0 and any other number, based on this mathematical calculation here. That'll make like the smooth transition from standing still to running, and from running to standing still again. So it's not like an instant movement. Then it calls the move function, the gravity function, the direction function from up here. Then these key presses here are for changing the state. This one is for entering the jump state. Well, this is not a key press, but it tries to detect if velocity on the y-axis is greater than 2, going down. It will switch automatically to the false state, and this is the first attack button, and I'll get over how this works in a moment. So if you press the space bar, it will move you to the jump state and set velocity y to jump strength, which is a variable that I have defined up here. Export it so that if need be I can quickly change it for, you know, maybe it doesn't feel right and I want to test out if a different value would work, and I don't want to immediately open up the code. But yeah, velocity underscore y becomes jump strength, and then it moves to state jump, and here in state jump it will have is if moving is true. It will then call the move keys function, and then the walking speed stuff so that you can jump. You know, you can like jump and then still change directions like so in the jump state. It will then travel to the jump animation. This is like for the speed, exactly the same one as up here. I might actually put it in its own function. I'm not sure if I will ever call it again. Besides here and there, and then putting it in its own function might be redundant. But whatever. And then it, you know, it calls the move function and that's direction function. And maybe I can use gravity here for this. Just replace it with the gravity function call. But yeah. This is the basic gravity statement there, and this is if, again, you know, if the velocity underscore y is greater than 2, then it will automatically go to state fall. In state fall there is no real movement. There's no real movement ability, like you can't move anywhere. So as you notice, like if I were to drop myself off the edge here, I can't actually change direction. I might change that, because typically in a 3D platformer you can change direction while jumping and also while falling. I'll just have to see how I design the levels, basically. It'll depend on that. But yeah, if it's not on floor, gravity will affect it. Otherwise, move to state default, where the gravity function over there will declare that if you know it's touching the floor, the velocity on the y-axis will be 0. And now we get to the attack states. Now, in order for this to work, I added call methods to the tracks. That was initially my first idea as well, you know, but it turned out that the way I did it before, it was extremely spammy, shall I say? Like, you had to be frame perfect with your attack key presses, right? That or smash the attack key at an inhumane rate. That didn't work, so I thought, you know, screw that. Let's try and figure out how timers work. I actually still have the combo timer node here. And I've been really struggling with timers, and it didn't work, probably because all of these run under the physics process, which is called, which basically checks things 60 times every second, which meant that if I were to do like combo timer dot wait time and then insert a wait time there, it will just continuously reset the timer to that wait time and get nowhere. I've actually been struggling with that for quite a while. Asked on Reddit and on the Godot Discord, and yeah, that seemed to be a problem. Not many people had a solution for it. Some proposed solutions didn't actually really work. And the weird thing is that on many YouTube videos, they do use timers under physics and processes and, you know, just process functions, but now it's working exactly as intended. But here, whatever. This though works without any timers. It's because I did something with the animations. Here's function combo delay, and here's function end animation. So let's go to the animation player and show, for example, punch 1. Punch 1 is a animation that will play for 0.3 seconds. And on the bottom here we have a combo delay call function. Just here, combo delay call function. Over there we have an end animation. This means that as the animation travels, it'll hit this thing, and then when it hits this thing, it'll set next attack to true, which is set to false up at the variables. If the animation is left to its own devices, it'll eventually hit end animation call function and set the state back to default, resetting the whole combo. Now, here's the cool thing. So I could have done that, done it in a way that if next attack is true and action is just pressed, it'll go to the next attack combo, right? However, it's way too precise, right? When you're attacking in a typical action game, you don't have to be frame perfect or super precise with your button presses, no matter how tight the action game is, right? So that had me thinking, right? I have here a variable called attack pressed up in the variables, right? But rather than moving immediately to the next state or combining the input with something else, all the input does is simply set attack pressed to true. That's all it does, right? It doesn't actually put you to the next attack. But in order to go to the next attack, which is in say state, this next attack state, both attack pressed and next attack will have to be true. So when you click on the attack, even before the animation is done, right? If you click on the attack key, it will set the attack pressed true, right? And then the animation will, while the animation is basically running its course, and then it will hit this thing, combo delay, which will set next attack true. And then the combination of attack pressed being true and next attack being true will set them both back to false, and then switch to the next combo state, where the same logic is again, where if you press the light attack button, it will set the attack pressed true, the animation will play itself out, it will eventually hit the combo delay call method, which will then set next attack to true, and then the combination of those two will then set them back to false, and then go to the next punch, and etc. And well, it works. I can be pretty relaxed clicking these keys without requiring to be frame perfect on when I click, and it feels, yeah, it feels alright, honestly. It actually freaking works, guys. Look at that, it works. So the only issue now with the attack animations is making them look better. I mean, they're too slow. And they're not exaggerated enough. Like, this is a pretty, semi-realistic looking punch, sort of. Okay, he commits a little bit too much with his shoulders. But it's generally not typical for an action game to be so reserved in motion. So I'm gonna have to exaggerate a lot of these punches a little bit more, just so that it looks visually better, especially considering that you're seeing him mostly from behind, and from behind you're not really, these reserved movements aren't really looking that good. So yeah, I'll have to go in to Blender and and make these attacks a little bit more exaggerated and snappier. Otherwise, the actual coding of this works. Now it's just a matter of adding the hit boxes and such to the areas where I would want Nach to be able to hurt enemies. One weird thing has happened though when I switch things up, and I have no idea why that is. But if you look at previous videos from Nach, you'll notice that the scarf is, behaving as it should be. It's like kind of sort of like draped behind over his back. But now it seems to be weirdly like this part of the scarf seems to be weirdly stretched and clipping through the body, and then the rest of the scarf just sort of hangs. And I have no idea why that does it. Well, okay. I have a sneaking suspicion it has to do with the movement logic, the movement code that I'm using, because it's different from the movement code I was using originally. And for some reason, when playing it rotates the character towards the camera. Now, this is one thing I don't quite know why that happens. But it rotates the camera on startup, and it might... rotates the character towards the camera on startup, and it might have to do with how the scarf seems to be almost inverted. I tried moving the object, of the scarf around, even like all the way out of the the character's body onto the side, and it still stretches in this weird way. I have no idea what is happening. This shouldn't happen at all. But yeah, I'm just at this moment ecstatic that simply just ecstatic that I have a working player state machine, one that I can actually read and understand, given to me by a beautiful tutorial where the dude in the tutorial actually explains what all of it means in a simple and concise way. So much to a point that I can use his code for things that he didn't use it for in the video, which is, well, I guess the goal of learning code. Things are starting to make sense, which is usually the time when everything else goes wrong. But yeah, things are starting to make sense. And I'm feeling mildly confident in that I won't have too many major problems with the character until I start having to code AI. So, what's next? Well, what's next is hitboxes and hurtboxes. I need to, like I said before, I need to make the animation snappier and better, more exaggerated. But I also need to make sure that his punches can actually send information to the appropriate, thing that detects his punches to hurt it and destroy it. So I'll probably be populating the level with some, I don't know, red boxes or something to punch up and destroy. Top of that, Nach should have his own hurt box, right, so that he can be hurt by things. And then I will experiment by making some traps, because the linear levels are going to have, like, I don't know, spike traps and hazardous flora or whatever, like if you land on, you hurt yourself. So I have to, like, implement health, which I hope isn't too bad. It's basically just a number which goes down and up, with a max number which goes up only when leveling up, which I'll have to implement as well. Like, you collect 100 of these coins and then you'll get a 1-up, which means that your health pool will be larger, which I'll have to implement as well. So yeah, and then after I've done all that, like made some basic ouch, don't touch me traps, made Nach be able to lose health, made Nach be able to, gain health, but limited to a certain threshold, fix the attack animations to be snappier, make sure the attack animations can damage. Once that's done, I can think about, I can try and tackle some rudimentary AI and have, give Nach something more than just boxes to beat up. But yeah, that's it for now. I'm looking forward to the future, and thanks for watching.